You know, back in my day, when I was growing up, we had to deal with the treachery of cable companies. We had to deal with these nonsense bundles where you were required to pay for dozens of different channels that you didn't even want to watch, just so that you could get HBO or one of the other actually good channels. We had to deal with ridiculous wait times in order to get our service connected, or especially to get services disconnected, or God forbid that you need to have somebody come out to service your cable box in order to fix an outage. That could have taken months to address. We suffered through this treachery because there really weren't any other options. The cable company in your region, they likely had a monopoly on the television media, and that's the whole reason why they acted this way, because they knew we had no other option. A man can only watch so much of the entire series of Land Before Time on VHS until the tapes start to wear out. But long before then, he will likely become convinced that he is the reincarnation of Littlefoot and shed all of his worldly possessions to go out and seek the Great Valley and an abundance of tree stars. Now, as time went on, technology improved, and we moved into the current age of streaming services. It was revolutionary. People were able to pretty much pay for only the media that they wanted. Instead of your monthly media bill consisting of over $200 a month, you only had to pay maybe $20 or $30 a month. And you would get way more content, and you could also watch that content across all of your devices. The impact of streaming services has been so incredible on our society that it even changed our lexicon. Instead of a boy inviting a gal out to the local skating rink, the youth of today, they simply Netflix and chill. The revolution of Netflix was so dramatic that other multi-billion-dollar companies started copying them and creating their own version of the service, like Prime Video, Peacock, and Disney+. Now, the best thing about this ecosystem of streaming services is the fact that you can watch them on different devices. And this fact means that close friends or family members could watch it on their devices as well. They could even sign up for different streaming services. You might sign up for Netflix and your friend might sign up for Disney+, so on and so forth. And then you all go ahead and share the passwords of the accounts with one another, meaning that everyone in this sharing community is able to use all of the services for the price of one. It's a wonderful system, kind of like communism, except it actually works and nobody starves. Well, I guess Netflix's spirit animal must be Ronald Reagan or something like that, because those capitalist pigs have decided to start cracking down on the comrades that are sharing their accounts. That's right, Netflix is going to start testing a fee for customers who share their account passwords with other people outside of their households. Their official statement on the matter is as follows. We've always made it easy for people who live together to share their Netflix account, with features like separate profiles and multiple streams in our standard and premium plans. While these have been hugely popular, they have also created some confusion about how Netflix can be shared. Yeah, that's totally what's going on. People are just confused, right? As a result, accounts are being shared between households, impacting our ability to invest in great new TV films for our members. So, for the last year, we've been working on ways to enable members who share outside of their households to do so easily and securely, while also paying a bit more. And over the next few weeks, we'll launch and test 2 new features for our members in Chile, Costa Rica, and Peru. Now, it's actually kind of hilarious that Chile is one of the countries that they're piloting this in, since just a few decades ago, when Chile was ruled by Augusto Pinochet, the government would arrest various types of dissidents, oftentimes people who were suspected of being communist, and they would execute them by throwing them out of helicopters alive.
¿Piensas que Pablo te va a dar un premio por ser macho? Huevón, él no sabe que tú existes, ¿sabes eso? Es tu última oportunidad, gato. Dale a tu madre, tonto hijo de puta!
So it seems like somebody over at Netflix is being a bit of a memer with this move. Yeah, we're going to do this hyper-capitalist, anti-sharing move in Chile. But anyway, this fee that they're going to start charging people whenever they go to share their account is going to be about 23.80 CLP, or about $3 in Chile. And then same thing in Costa Rica, $2.99, might as well be $3. And then they're going to charge 7.9 pen in Peru, which I think is about $2. So yeah, I guess it is technically pretty cheap. I mean, I don't know how difficult it is for people in those countries to pay $2 or $3. It obviously sounds cheap to me as an American. But, if I had to guess, the fees are probably based on roughly like the income of that country. So they're probably going to be a whole lot higher in places like America as well as European countries, because they're just piloting this in these three countries. And eventually Netflix is going to roll it out worldwide. Because after all, the whole point of this is to push more people to get their own accounts instead of sharing. And they say that it's for your security, but I'm pretty sure that the real reason they're doing this is because last quarter, Netflix did not reach its projected profit goals, and as a result, the stock went down quite a bit. So now they're trying to go and squeeze just a bit more money out of their pay pigs. Don't you just love big tech? Now, besides the obvious scumminess of Netflix trying to prevent people from sharing accounts and doing what I talked about before, where one person would sign up for one service, another person signs up for another, and then you guys just share the passwords with one another, there's actually some serious problems to the way that this is going to be implemented that's going to affect people who use it, I guess, correctly, at least correct according to Netflix's terms of service. Because the thing is, the best way to verify, and really one of the only really accurate ways to verify if someone's using your Netflix account from another household, is to check the IP address of the person that is signing in. And if it's different than the last IP of your home, which also is going to change from time to time since you probably have a dynamic IP address, then they're just going to assume that you're a different person. But what if you're traveling? Are you going to get locked out of your account and forced to verify it in some way when you try to sign into Netflix from a hotel room? Because that's the way that a lot of hotels are these days. They don't bother paying for cable or satellite or some other nonsense to all the other rooms, especially if it's an upper-end hotel, because they're like, hey, yeah, people are just going to have Netflix. Maybe they'll have some complimentary Netflix in really nice hotels, but in my personal experience, it's been bring your own account or, bring your own media. They'll just provide you with Wi-Fi. Or, what if you're using a VPN so that you can try to access region-locked content on Netflix? That's another thing that a lot of people do, oftentimes trying to switch their VPN to put them in the UK, because I guess that there's some exclusive content that people in America really like that's on the UK. They're probably going to go ahead and block that. I mean, they're going to probably force you to go ahead and buy Netflix UK as well to watch whatever it is that comes on there. I don't actually really watch Netflix or own a Netflix account because I'm far too intelligent for it. But you could be just as intelligent as well by joining us in the wonderful world of peer-to-peer file sharing. In fact, right now is going to be a golden age for peer-to-peer file sharing and torrenting, because Russia, as a way of getting back at the West, I guess, has reportedly legalized the piracy of games, movies, and other media, which most often is done via torrenting. Now, Russia has always been a hub of online piracy for a long time now. I mean, just look at sites like RU Tracker, which is one of the best torrent sites, or Yandex, which is one of the better search engines for finding torrents. Both of these were developed in Mother Russia. Now, yes, I'm fully aware that the media has recently pushed an emergency firmware update to people's morality, and as a result, some people might say things like, I'm not gonna download torrents from no stinking Russians because of my heckin' Ukraine. And fair enough. I think that the invasion of Ukraine is messed up also, but blocking Russian IPs from your torrent application or just refusing to use torrents altogether because they're a central part of Russian culture seems like a pretty weird way to deal with it, pretty weird way to protest. But, you do you, boo-boo. Just keep in mind that by continuing to pay for services like Netflix, Prime Video, and Disney Plus subscriptions, that you are giving money to Hollywood, which is likely going to be used for the purposes of sex trafficking children, as well as covering up the evidence of Hollywood pedophiles abusing children, which is not very poggers at all. So join us on the right side of history, cancel Netflix, and start seeding your torrents. And hey, while you're at it, why not donate the money that you save by torrenting to some Ukrainian families? That way, you can do something that actually helps the situation instead of virtue signaling on social media. Like and comment to hack the algorithm, be sure to cancel your Netflix subscription, and have a great day.